Hey, everybody, and welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to the second half. We're back. Whew. Let's talk Choice TV, y'all. Said that we'll be back at 2 o'clock, so we're back at 2 o'clock. So I assume that they're in the courtroom, and we'll start it in a few minutes. Okay, I'm gonna finish my lunch up. The dog had their lunch. I hope y'all had something to eat. What y'all think the result's gonna be? Y'all think it's gonna be a not guilty or a guilty verdict? I hear a lot of learning development training. That even the system principal need training. Okay, how much teaching you get, you still don't need training. And see y'all that class that Miss Warner have. Miss Warner seems like she needs some help in her class. Uh, try to find another school to work at. You know what I mean? That ain't no that school right there. It's a good school, but a lot of things going on. School. I don't know nothing about that school system, but something going on in that area, in that district. I'm surprised me Warner's still at that school, aren't y'all? They should have. I wonder is Miss Warner still at that school? The teacher got shot. She be about, she about to be rich now. Yeah, I like to burn my food. All my food was hard. All of it was hard. It wasn't good. I don't like hard food. But this is sad. You know, everybody got a responsibility in that building. Every child belong to everybody in that building, y'all. Every child belong. Y'all see, school. Y'all didn't want to be locked down this at home with your own kids. I didn't even want my kids to go to public school. I want them to stay at home and go home school. But during that time, they were charging us. There was too much going on in there. Now look, y'all. That young man broke that woman's phone on a Wednesday. God, I can't believe it. And ooh, looked like he was after her. He broke that teacher phone. It's crazy. Bring that gun to school. Do anybody know he had that gun? Because he was mad at that. He was mad at that teacher because he was, excuse me, y'all, he was removed from the class on that Wednesday when he broke her phone. He broke that lady phone. And then the mama came and got him. Then they let him come back to school on the next day. See, y'all, that's elementary school. So the rules are totally different from middle and high school. Okay. The rules are totally different. Both mean the same, but it's to me kind of like, they cheer, they young. He broke that teacher phone. The teacher ignored the fact that he broke the phone. Cause he's just in the first grade. Then mama came and had him. He was out to school on that Thursday. Just imagine that if a mother were working and she can't, and these jobs be acting funny, and then she couldn't take that day out to see about him. So on that Thursday, he returned back to school after doing what he did. He just in first grade, y'all remember he just in first grade, and then he came to school on the. This is not funny. Don't pay me no attention. But then he turned around and came to school on the Friday with his, with a firearm. And the little joker knew how to let that little JT know how to hide a handgun, y'all. He hid it. It's not funny, but these kids are something else. He took it out of his book bag and put it on him. It went to recess. He told that teacher, "You ain't nobody touching my bag." That's what a first. Just imagine y'all, a first grader telling you that. Ain't nobody touch you. Ain't touching my bag. Teacher said, "Let me see the bag." The reader space. Let me see the bag. Ain't nobody touching my bag. That's when I have to call the police. Then I have to call the police to get him checked because he could have had a gun. He could have had a handgun, and then he couldn't. He might not have had one, but he did say he had one for real. So if you don't know if they're telling the truth or not, I always remove in front of all the other kids on their home and in that school and take them to the front office. I know the teacher. I know the principal had somebody else, man. But sometimes you got to tell the principal like it is, y'all. So the principal admitted that the teacher came to her office and reported that. She admitted, but she said she couldn't move at the time because she had two kids in her office. If somebody tell me that there's a gun in that building, I'm gonna jump up out of there and go on to see what time it is. Somebody else got to watch the two people fight. Whoo, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. And y'all make it so bad. The kids were testing. I guess it was a statewide test, some kind of comprehensive test, some kind of test that the school was taking. So they didn't want to make it. They didn't want to interrupt the other classes. See, Miss Weiner don't got tired. They probably put a lot of acting out kids in her class. We don't know what kind of class she has. And she wasn't scared to report it. This is crazy, y'all. I don't care what kind of meeting you in. You better run out of there and go see what time it is. Because hey, y'all, what would they have done had a kid got shot? What would they have done if the two girls got shot or any kid out there got shot? What they would have, how would they would have thought about this case then? Wonder what the defense team would have said then. Y'all, we if there any job you have responsibility and duties. In this situation right here, they made the wrong choice. Choices. The school down and see what little JT doing. That's what you need to do. Get up and behind that seat, get out that chair, roll out that chair up, stand up, and go see what JT doing. You got a job as a assistant principal now. Woo-wee. If you're assistant principal and you ain't got no team behind you, I tell you what, you gonna catch it. If you ain't got a good team behind you, you gonna catch HELL. Y'all previously times this don't happen in their school. Why they ain't got? They got a school resource officer going from school to school. They need one in that building all the time. See, we had one police officer in our building. We had one sheriff officer in our building. Mm-hmm. School resource officer. We had them in it with the middle school. You got to have some in them schools like that. 'Cause that's when they echo up when they know you ain't there. See, y'all, one thing that we didn't pay attention to is when Miss Nina, I can't think of her last name. I'm gonna respect this Miss Nina. Read their handbook, y'all. A principal can check a student. Miss Administrator can check the student, and an officer. But Miss, none of the teachers could check that student. None of them teachers could check that student. So what I would have done I still would have taken JT to that office. They got to set higher standards and goals up in that building. They never told, listen, y'all, I ain't on the principal side, I ain't on nobody's side, I'm on the true side. They never told the principal that they thought he had a weapon, y'all. See, it's not important to us now. They never told him. They never told her that he had a weapon. Because it wasn't a weapon in his bag. He had the weapon in his coat, in his jacket pocket. He had that jacket in his ear, the gun in his jacket pocket. That would have scared me. And he was acting defiant. And y'all, God is good. I don't care what y'all say. And I don't know why I put 15 to 20 small groups. The principal, the assistant principal, then call the police out. See, everybody be want their school to be. See, y'all, it's like a competition when it come down to the schools. It's like they ain't started yet. It's like competition with schools. You don't want to. Let me see, guys. See what's going on. It's 2 o'clock. Let's see what they're doing. Let me see this a second. How long, guys? I don't know why this thing going slow so like this. I gotta go back and edit all this mess out. What TV? Nah, this ain't what I. Hold on, y'all. Let's get to our station. They ain't got back from the lunch yet. These people need to put some pep in these steps. This don't make no sense, huh? All right, y'all. We just gonna sit it right here until they come back from lunch. It's 2:21. Oh, man. So, like I said earlier, see what people not realizing that Warner didn't make the right choices. Always, she never told the principal about that or hell. She feared him. She never told him that. She feared for her safety. Never. I don't understand why she didn't do that. What she was scared of. What she was scared of. It's a lot of it's a lot of red flags. And y'all, it's tripping me off because you're supposed to have the experienced teachers that's supposed to know what to do. Miss the reading specialist ain't on system principal. She can't search. None of them teachers can search them. Only person can search them is that principal. I said, Miss Miss Parker. I always look out for the assistant principal and the principal because that's what PE teachers do. I said, you want me to watch these two students with you, or do you want me to take them on to my class? Because that's how powerful I am with kids. So she said, yeah, coach, because I know how to treat kids. And let you go in on and handle that gun because you might have to lock the school down. Because JT said, ain't nobody touching my book bag and went and hid behind a rock. JT, JT is funny. JT, I want to see. JT said, y'all ain't nobody touch. and ran and hid. Oh Lord. Lord have mercy, Jesus. He don't shot the teacher, y'all. If if everybody would make good choices, y'all. Good choices. I talk about that all the time. I talk about choices in life, period. In life, we got to make good choices, y'all, especially on our jobs. They don't want to start eating, y'all. They don't want to come, they don't want to come back for lunch. Feel sorry for them students. And that's who I feel sorry for. The kids. I feel sorry for the kids. Y'all, now look, now you all understand. Now you all understand why I retired in 2019. It had no got worse in track and field, y'all. Until well, I came from high school, okay? When I did 5 years in high school, after my track team graduated, I left to middle school. Middle school was one of the worst places I should have ever went to. I, I got I got to middle school and I couldn't do nothing but laugh like I'm doing now. I like that. Wait a minute, we ain't gonna do this. We ain't gonna do that, y'all. See, when y'all leave these children in them teacher hand, you got by. I had 1 year, y'all, in the PE class. They think we can see. They know we can be principals. At first, I wanted to be assistant from. Then I saw all the responsibility. I said, hell no. I stay right here in the gym and in the health class. But the gym is just as works as anything else because they'll put 45 students, 45 to 50 students in your class, y'all, on one teacher. Just imagine that a teacher got 45 students in her class, y'all. 45 to 50 every day. Add that up with how many kids you got. You got three. You got the six, seven, and the eighth graders. And then in the elementary school, you got the first kindergarten, pre-K, but we don't have to do pre-K, but kindergarten through the fifth. And that lady said she had 20 something students in her class. 21 little JTs. Me and JT will have to be buddies. You know what I mean? I don't think if I had been the one to talk, that's why you got to talk. You got to communicate, y'all. You got to communicate with your students. You got to try to. You got to use strategies. You got to use strategy on the kids. You just can't get kids. These teachers, sometimes some of the teachers' classes, I go in, I say, wow, this is a male class. Why y'all ain't talking? Male, how you gonna teach male quiet? How is a male class gonna be quiet, y'all? Teach no male being quiet. How you gonna teach science quiet? I like mine to be interacted in the classroom. I like for them to stand up and I do like you do 45 minutes, 60 minutes of learning. First, I start out with a rap about the class and letting them think about what we're going to talk about today. Or you to show a video, what we're going to intro. Then you got 60 minutes. Now you're already looking at uh, Barbara over there with a little attitude. She don't came to she didn't want to come to your class today. Because she made her math teacher. Teachers got to use strategy, y'all. It's hard being a teacher now. I pray for y'all, boy. If all them teachers walk out, then y'all ain't gonna have no teacher. Cause they ain't making no money. We ain't making no money. No money in teaching. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. If you call that money to you. No money. And teach. But one thing I want them to do is get them some help in that school. Keep a officer at that school, not in between school, but keep an officer in the school. Y'all, I had did school crossing. I drove school bus, did 22 years of teaching, 5 years of school crossing. And you talking about I had the elementary school. Elementary kids, something else. I pray for the parents. Do y'all continue to do the best that you can and don't give up. I have to tell them, sure, look, baby, don't pretend, don't fake me up here. Don't pretend like you're gonna go across this street. Y'all, y'all, y'all know how the school crosses. Y'all be seeing school cross. All that y'all I got on. I don't got like they got hit so many times, y'all. And them kids act like they want to go across that street. Cause these people ain't came from lunch. Yeah, it's 2:30. The world going on? What's going on? Are they done for today? They done. See, let me see, they back on court TV. I be on commercials. I don't think they gonna work no more today, y'all. It's 2:30, but I don't know what was in Virginia. Let's see. Oh, we can run. Come on, thing. I'm sure. I don't think they coming back, y'all. I don't think they coming back. I really don't. Something going on, y'all, in the courtroom. You know what, y'all? She cried. She started crying. She feel bad, y'all. What happened? She needed some help. Y'all don't. Y'all sometimes they ain't even got no teacher in some of these classes. They ain't some of these children ain't got no teachers in their class. They got to double them classes up, y'all. Them teachers start trying to be from work. They were being asking for work. So what they'll do is put children in your class. I got so tired of that, y'all. They ain't got no teacher for this class or that class. So you'll go sit in there with them class. No, I got to go. Yeah, I'm about to retire. Y'all ain't gonna work me. It's surreal, y'all. Everything I say is real. I should have stayed in high school. Ain't have no being leaving high school, honey. Ooh, Lord. See, high school, they halfway grown. They responsible. Middle school, they trying to find themselves. Yeah, they trying to find themselves. Talking bad now. They talk trying to be like you. Y'all gotta remember now. They in the sixth grade. I didn't go to middle school. My eighth grade was in high school street, but school ain't like it is. These I feel sorry for the parents. I feel sorry for the parents. Cause you send your children to school to learn and do what the teachers say do, but somebody got to pick on JT. Somebody got to pick on JT. They ain't getting JT enough love in that school. They ain't getting JT no love. He wants some attention. But y'all, a child to take a loaded gun to school and take the gun out your mama pocketbook in the first grade. I'm thinking about my grandson. He wouldn't have did. I ain't gonna say what a child wouldn't do, but look, JT went in his mama pocketbook, dog, and got her gun out her pocketbook. It ain't like the lady gave it to him. Lady trying to do the best she can. You don't went in your mama pocketbook. They could have locked you up and everybody in the world up. And you don't went up there and shot Miss Warner. Shot Miss Warner. You don't told Miss Warner phone up. Mm. What was said, y'all, when he was out, when his mama came and got him, and, and he came to school the next day, he was okay. He came to school. And then Friday, he shoot a teacher in the hand. Who taught JT how to shoot a gun? Who taught JT who taught that first grader how to shoot a gun? Who showed him how to do that? Who taught that young man that? Who taught that little boy how to shoot a gun, y'all? What? Who did that, y'all? I ain't even know how to shoot no gun in the first grade. And got what you I'm laughing now, but I'm glad I went in that class. Look, y'all, JT, JT don't drop the gun. The shot the teacher dropped the gun on the floor. Everybody else running and hollering. He started running and hollering too. The teacher running and hollering, the children running and hollering, and JT running and hollering. Wow, they back, y'all. Oh, Lord, now they want to talk. Mr. Jenkins. Where Mr. Jenkins? Gracia. Got some good helmets here. You're a little just lazy, Joker.
Good afternoon, sir. Would you please tell us your name? Sir, and I know that I mentioned this to you earlier, but just as a reminder, we're not saying anything so that children at all today welcome these officials or refer them my son. I want to, do you have a son? And what is his initials? Did MJ attend Rich Neck Elementary School? Was MJ in attendance at Rich Neck on January 6, 2023? How old was he then?
Let me turn this air conditioner off.
On January 6th of 2023, did you go to Rich Neck Elementary School? Well, first of all, let me ask you this question. Did you take MJ to school? So, was that in your car? Did you personally drop him off? And on that day, did you go back to Rich Neck Elementary School? When you arrived without telling me what anyone was saying. So, did you go to that church area where people were gathering with you? Okay. And did you immediately see MJ there? From the time you arrive, and I know I'm asking you to estimate, but can you give us an estimate? Are you able to give us an estimate of how long it was from the time you arrived at Rich Neck to the time you saw your son? This is the connection, Judge, that we have been talking about in this case between the shooting and the ensuing trauma to the children, and that came from a delayed reunification, and that came from, as we will hear in a moment, that came from the continued chaos leading to these children in a panic and a state of trauma.
What is his name?
The nexus for why we're here. Let me. 71.1. A person responsible for the care of a child under 18 whose willful act or omission in that care was so gross, wanton, and culpable to show a reckless disregard for human life is guilty of a class. As to how the shooting occurred, and everything that has happened to these children is a follow-on from the shooting that establishes it is gross, wanton, and culpable behavior of Dr. Parker. It was the willful omission that caused these children to be separated from their parents in a state of chaos. Mr. Garcia, after you were reunited with your son, describe his demeanor.
Why he going slow?
And are there any ways that you've noticed as a parent that your son is different was different after the shooting versus before the shooting? Describe what you noticed.
His son scared of the dog. Oh shoot. Let me be mad.
Child abuse and neglect requires a showing that the abuse is so gross, wanton, and culpable that it showed a disregard for human life. The effects of the abuse are what he is testifying to. That is what is gross, wanton, and culpable. And we're there. This is as far as I'm going with this. But the fact that the child is different after than before is relevant to whether the choices Dr. Parker made were gross or the omissions were gross, wanton, and culpable, because this is the after effect to the children. Not from the judge. How was your child different after the shooting versus before? Describe how he was different after. If you, yeah. And were any of those things present prior to the shooting? Are you thinking of any of those?
I just have a few questions. Um, are you familiar with any relationship that your son had with Dr. Parker? Your son was a second grade student, is that correct? So he was not in Ms. Runner's classroom, correct? Um, you mentioned something about a safe room. Isn't it true that your son was in the gym? Your son was not in the gym when you picked up. Okay. Where was he? Oh, you don't know? Oh, well, I'm not asking to tell you what somebody told you. So you don't know. Okay. You filed a civil lawsuit arising from the events on January 6, 2023, correct? Okay. And it's filed here in this courthouse, correct? You're not sure? I'm sorry? Okay. You have named Dr. Parker as a defendant in your case, your civil case, correct? And you're seeking money damages from Dr. Parker, correct?
Why the microphone's not working? Jeez. His son in the second grade. What he got to do with the first graders?
Well, Your Honor, he just asked that series of questions about the child on a camera. I'm asking about a civil case, asking what about a civil case. Has nothing to do with the child. So, Mr. Garcia, you are seeking money damages from Dr. Beverly Parker in this civil case, correct? And a criminal conviction of Dr. Parker would assist in the civil case against her, wouldn't it? So you have a financial interest in the outcome of this criminal trial. Well, you just stated that you believe that a criminal conviction of Dr. Parker would assist you in your civil case where you're suing for money, correct? Okay. So you would agree you have a financial interest in the outcome of this criminal trial, correct? When did the school first contact you about the shooting? 16th? Yes. Okay. So 10 days after the shooting occurred. And how did you get that notification? And do you consider failure to notify you? Do you believe that failure is on the part of the public schools? Thank you. No further questions.
Indicated on cross-examination that your son NJ was not in his classroom. What was his homeroom? And did he have occasion to interact with other students from other classes? Now, in the immediate aftermath of this, when you picked him up, did he tell you anything about contact he had had with another student? I am going to attempt to establish possibly an excited utterance. What is the legal basis of the objection? I missed it. Okay, so it would be hearsay unless the court finds that the excited utterance exception applies. I'll need to lay a foundation for that. Well, in the immediate aftermath of the event, within right when you see your son, does your son speak to you about the event? Does your son tell you about a child he interacted with that day? Okay. And do you know who? Just a yes or no question. Do you know who that child is? Okay. When your son is telling you this, can you describe for us, without saying what he said, can you describe his demeanor, how he appeared and how he was acting, and how he sounded? Did he relate to you something that had just happened earlier that day? Judge, I think that is sufficient foundation for as to hearsay under the excited utterance. May I respond to that, Judge? The excited utterance exception is extended when the declarant is a child, because courts have recognized in Virginia the nature of being a child and brain development means that the heightened experience of an emergency extends quite some time. There are cases that I will have to look up if the court would like that involve many hours long when the child is young. The younger the child and the more traumatized they are acting, the longer the extension of the excited utterance is. Declare that moment where you were just describing his demeanor, tell us what MJ told you. Okay, let me ask you this question. Did MJ say all of that to you in that moment? Okay. And so, if I understand your testimony correctly, is it that he heard the gunshot and he was in a classroom that had no door? Okay. A pop. And then you had to evacuate. Judge, I'm not going to say thank you. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Garcia, had you personally ever been inside Richland Elementary School? Had you personally ever gone to your son's classroom? And did your son's classroom have a door? All right, thank you. I don't have to.
Susan White. Whew. Yeah. about that.
Good afternoon. Tell us your name. Ms. White, how are you employed? And on January 6th of 2023, how were you employed? Okay, and were you at Richneck Elementary School? Why? And so I want to take you back to the year before that, which was that your final year before retirement? So during the course of your last year of teaching at Richneck, did you know a student who we're referring to as JT? Okay, and as a reminder, we're not speaking the names of any students at all, only using initials. Whose class was JT in? And what grade was that? During the course of your time with JT, was there ever a discipline incident that you did report directly to Dr. Parker? I want you to start at the beginning of that incident that you eventually reported. So what was going on that day that began that? Let me pause you for a moment so we can kind of visualize the scene. So when he is in the face of another student, how is he? Is he sitting, standing, or doing something else? Okay. And you testified that you pulled him away. Can you describe how you did that? So you say brought him back, do you mean JT?
Yes.
Okay. So when you see him come back to your room with the counselor and school security guard, what happens?
They each had him by one hand, and they were trying to get him to move into the room. And he was yelling, no, no, I don't want to go back in the classroom. And I looked at them, and I had his back to the doorway, so I could talk to them without everyone in the classroom hearing. And I said, well, he's right. He does not belong back in the classroom. What he did was enough for me to contact the police and to press charges. And the security officer agreed with me.
Okay, so what happens with JT next?
Well, they told me they were bringing him back to me because no administrator was available to handle the situation.
Okay.
So I said that if he was going to stay in there, I was going to need to leave the room.
Did you in fact leave the room?
I did, but not because of that. I believe they took me back out again, but it's very fuzzy.
Okay.
What I know is by that point I was so shaky that Mrs. Carter, my assistant, said, go ahead and take a break. And I took my laptop and went to the lounge and got the incident referral form because I wasn't going to leave school without reporting it.
Okay, so hold on just a minute. You mentioned an incident referral form. Can you just kind of explain to the jury what that is?
That is to the administrators.
And when you say the administrators, what titles?
Assistant principal and principal.
Okay. And who was the assistant principal at Ridge Neck Elementary School at the time that this happened? And is Dr. Parker in the courtroom right now? Just point her out, please. Will the record reflect that she's indicated with it? Thank you. So you told us that you got an incident referral form. Okay. And what did you do with it?
I filled it out and I typed up a whole description of everything that had happened that day because I had had some positive moments with him earlier, so I wanted those included too. So typed up the day and then I attached it to the referral form as the attachment and explanation of the behavior. And then I went to the office and I saw the Dr. Goodman, the principal at the time, and Dr. Parker. They were in her office at the time.
And did you go into the office?
I went into the office. I told them everything that had happened.
So let me ask you this question. Did you have the incident referral form with you?
I had it in my hand.
Do you know who you handed it to or what you did with it?
I handed it to Dr. Goodman after I explained everything on it to both of them.
I understand. So after you explained everything that was on it, did, if you remember, did Dr. Parker or Principal Goodman react to that in any way? And if so, how?
Dr. Goodman, when I was talking about the fact that if an attack is occurring, it should never be that no administrator is available to help with it unless there's a worse attack going somewhere at the same time.
Okay. Did Dr. Parker say anything or
No,
how?
she was making eye contact. She was looking at me. She didn't say anything. Dr. Goodman said sort of respect about prioritize. And I thought, oh yeah, that's what I wanted him to get from that. And then he told me to go to the nursing home and then check that afterwards.
Okay. That year, did JT ultimately return to your classroom or not?
He did. He returned the very next day. He walked in with his breakfast. And I immediately went to the teacher across from me and said, I need to go to the office so that she would watch me with the classes. And she saw who I had with me, so she understood. And I just told him he had his breakfast with my sister and come with me. And so we went to the office and I had to sit down and the way he had to stay in the first grade class all day because the sub hadn't showed up. So I would not have another adult in the room. So what I told her is, I cannot be the only adult in the classroom if he's in that room. And so he needs to be somewhere else, or I'm going to have to take a sick day and go home.
And was he relocated, or what happened?
He must have done it because I went directly back to the classroom and I could see the rest of the day.
At some point later in the year, does he come back to your classroom? If there were, and if you remember, any other discipline incidents you saw yourself and you reported to Dr. Parker yourself, are there any such incidents? With JT, that's right.
No, I don't believe so.
Thank you so much. I don't have any further questions for you. Please answer any questions.
But JT, something else. Come on, y'all.
Just testify that you reported JT's behavior or his presence in your classroom to Dr. Parker directly when you came back the next day, correct? Okay. And then when you told her that, after that, he never appeared in your classroom again, correct? No, you don't tell me what you heard. So when you told her that action was taken and justice was removed, JT was removed from your classroom. Okay. All right. Regarding the incident referral that you mentioned, you know whether Newport News Public Schools retained a copy of it? Okay. And did you have to then supply it to someone else, your own copy that you maintained? No problem.
Ms. White, I want to just direct your attention to the incident referral form. You've indicated there was a form. Was that the only piece of paper you submitted? Okay.
So that I could get the full explanation what happened. This little place is not enough.
Understood. And the description of the day that you attached to the referral form, was it typewritten, handwritten, or something else? All right. If I showed it to you, would you recognize it? Yeah, of course. Sure.
Introducing Bojangles New.
Mm.
I don't know what I had at the top.
Are you?
It looks like it.
Okay, either it is or it isn't. They can calculate it.
Yeah. I was gonna say I like a lot, but yeah.
So is it? Is there a referral? You say yes?
Yes, it's the attachment that I attached.
Thank you. But I am doing that now because it does not close. As a past recollection recorded for one thing, and also as a prior consistent statement, because the defense was alleging that or suggesting that it didn't exist, essentially, in cross-examination.
There's no such situation that it didn't exist. So that's number one. It's still hearsay. It's good difficult testimony. In our previous defense that runs. And it goes beyond, I'm sorry, it goes beyond my redirect as well. For me, my cross-examination.
Because defense counsel asked whether she gave it to the schools and whether it still exists. And I'm establishing that it does. There's if the objection is hearsay, there's an exception to that. If we want to talk about why it's relevant at this stage, yes, we can go to the relevance rules and find that a prior consistent statement does become relevant when on cross-examination, or does become admissible when on cross-examination the witness has been challenged as to having a memory or forgetting something. I can find it. So I think you don't have any further questions.
I don't wore them teachers out. All right, y'all. Next witness.
Mr. Rawls, just a quick reminder that we're not using the names of any children today in court. We will use initials in place of that. Mr. Rawls, in January of 2023, how were you employed? Where? And how long had you, as of the January 2022 or 2023, I'm sorry, how long had you been at Richmond? Okay. And during the course of your time at Richmond, did you come to know a student who we'll refer to as JT? And in the course of your duties, did you receive an assignment related to JT? How did that assignment come about, if you know? Tell us how, if you could just describe for the jury how the one-on-one assignment worked. Okay. And did you ever speak to Dr. Ebony Parker regarding assignment with JT? Okay. Do you know of any behavior issues that JT exhibited? Okay. Mr. Rawls, do you know what an SST is? Okay, what is that? Tell us. And did the SST plan involve regular meetings? Yes. Did JT have an SST plan? Okay. And who all was involved in the SST process for JT? Okay. And so at those SST meetings, were parents and guardians of children invited to attend those? You mentioned principal and AP. What's AP? Thank you. And as of JT's SST, who was the principal at the time? I'm sorry, I put you on the spot. Okay, do you remember who the assistant principal was at that time? Okay. Did Dr. Parker sometimes attend the SST meetings, if you know? Okay. Did there come a time when you decided you no longer wanted assignment? Hold on just a moment. I'll rephrase the question. Did you ever decide that you did not want to continue the one-on-one relationship with JT? I asked, did you ever decide that you didn't want to continue the one-on-one relationship with JT? He's already established the foundation that he had the one-on-one assignment. And did you decide, is a question he can answer yes or no? Did you decide or he didn't? I'm not suggesting which of those answers is the right one, so it's not leading. Go ahead, Judge. If you would like to ask the question. During the time that you were working one-on-one with JT, did you experience behavior issues or witness behavior issues? During the time you were working with JT, did you experience or witness behavior issues? And what were the behaviors that you observed of JT at any point that year? Would I'd like to take you to January 6th of 2023. You remember that day? What's the first moment that you realized something might be up with JT? I'll rephrase. On that day, did you ever notice anything unusual about JT? Okay. Did you eventually become aware of a crisis that occurred that day? So I understand it's hearsay. Let me walk through that with him. During the day on that day, did you have occasion to speak with any students? And were there any students who shared a concern related to JT? Now, without telling me what the student said, you described the student's demeanor, how they appeared at the moment they were telling you the information. Okay. Again, without telling us what was said, were they referring to something they had just experienced or seen? Okay. And with that information, without telling me what was said, with that information, where did you go? Did you ask Dr. Parker to take any action? I didn't ask her to take any action. asked Dr. Parker to take? And what did Dr. Parker say anything? The concern and the desire to search JT, did you share your concern without telling us what was said? Did you share your concern with anyone else? Mr. Rawls, at the time that you asked Dr. Parker for permission to search the person of JT, did you believe you had the authority to do that without an administrator's approval? And finally, Mr. Rawls, as you sit here today, do you wish you had done differently that day? Okay, I don't have anything further.
This is so sad.
So, January 6th of 2023, you were a school counselor at Richmond, is that correct? And at some point, was it at the very beginning of the year, you assumed the responsibility of having a one-on-one contact with JT? At some point, began one-on-one contact with JT, is that correct? Okay, and how were your initial interactions with JT? Positive, or was it a challenge? And over a period of time, his behavior began to get better. Is that correct? Okay. And you were part of the SST team. Is that correct? Okay. And you function as a counselor as a part of that team. Okay. Would you say that you were in a pretty good position to assess how JT was doing on a given day? Okay. Would you say that you had more contact or less contact with JT than Mrs. COVID-19 specialist? About the same amount of time? Okay. And at some point, you indicated that you requested less one-on-one time with JT, but it didn't sound like it was because he was doing better, but it's because you wanted to be able to help more students at the time. Is that correct?
I thought it was me.
So you got to a point where you were spending less time with JT. The motivation for that was to be able to spend more time helping, I guess, more students, more people than just JT. Is that correct? Okay. Thank you. I understand. So my next question is: do you, when you began to have less contact with JT based on your request, did you think that was a good move for JT? Do you think that may have been detrimental to his progress? Okay. But based on your position, you got as far as resources, you needed to have contact with more students. Is that correct? Okay. It's, that's what it is. That's what it is. So I'm the source of education. So after you decided to have less time with JT, did you notice any kind of degrade in his behavior? Describe that go around, that next plan. Okay, and so you actually observed that next phase of plan with JT. Okay, and did that next phase seem to cause improvement with JT's behavior? Or okay, so were there less calls from the teacher or from an administrator for you to respond to JT due to that behavior? Okay, all right. Now let's talk about January 6th. Did you have contact with JT on January 6th of 2003? Okay. When you placed your eyes on him, was he in the classroom or was that on the playground? Where was he at? In the hallway? Okay. And when you placed your eyes on him, his behavior that you observed that caused you concern. Okay. Did he seem like it was JT, his normal behavior? Is that okay. So he appeared calm. How long did you observe him? And during that few minutes, JT was doing okay. Is that correct? Okay. And so had some concerns for JT's safety or anybody else's safety, and that's why you wanted to try something. Is that correct? Okay. Okay. So you put on so did you have contact with directly or indirectly after that? Okay. So you did not observe any behavior of JT on that day that made you believe that JT was a threat of danger or harm to any of the students. Is that correct? Okay. And I believe through the questioning, it seemed like there may have been an indication that there was some additional feedback that you received. Is that correct? Okay. Did that cause you to need to put your eyes on JT again? And do you remember the timing of when you went back to the classroom? Okay. And at any time did you feel like that you stepped in and pulled JT out of the classroom? Okay. Did you agree with that decision? Okay. When you left Miss Warren, did you feel like you were leaving her in extreme danger, or the students in extreme danger? Okay. When you walked away from that class, you were at peace with JT's behavior, what was going on in the classroom. Is that correct? Now, so when the actual incident occurred, did you immediately think that, oh no, JT has shot somebody? So you were shocked that the incident actually occurred. Is that correct? Even with the earlier feedback that you received. Is that correct? You did not think that you needed to take any action prior to the incident to separate JT from the classroom. Is that correct? Separate his classmates from him. Is that correct? You feel like you need to call the police? Alright. If you believe that there was a gun, do you understand that it was your responsibility to separate JT from the classroom? Okay. And it would also have been your responsibility to contact the police. Is that correct? Okay. You have been involved in previous incidents when JT was removed from the classroom. Is that correct? Okay. Just a couple days before that, you were involved in that incident. Okay. You removed him from the classroom. The incident wasn't something that caused danger or harm to his classmates. It was a cell phone was broken. Is that correct? And that resulted in him being taken to the office. Is that correct? Okay. So, as a staff member, even on that day, you understood it was your responsibility if you thought it was a threat to the students to remove the threat or the students from that danger. Is that correct? Objection has to be answered. No, that's fine. Go ahead, have a moment.
just so that I understand the timeline of events, you testified on cross that you went and put your eyes on JT. Do you know if that was before or after you spoke with the student and it caused you to go to these stores? Before, okay. Do you know roughly how long before you spoke with that student? Okay. Would it have been more than 2 hours? Okay. And what were the initials of the student that you spoke to? Okay, thank you. Any further questions?
Hello, Mr. Ross. Just mentioned speaking with the student with the first initial R. Did you ever tell Dr. Parker what R has said to you? You believe you did. Do you know for certain whether you did? Okay. Would you be surprised if you did not do that? Okay. No further questions.
Yeah, they don't have so many breaks, y'all. All right, y'all. Let me give you my reaction. Right here, because they just going for a look. They don't ate too much. Okay, I'm gonna put it on the counselor. Okay. Let me tell y'all what I have here. Like I said, let's talk choices and responsible and be responsible at the same time. Let me look at my notes because I had to write my notes in the chat. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry I have to do that. MJ dad was a witness that his name Mark Garcia. He was one of the parents. His son in the second grade. Uh, he alleged is that uh, his son is afraid of the dark due to the shooting that he heard. In the second grade, he's not around there with the first graders. Hmm. And dad is supposed to be doing a civil suit. His Susan was one of the teacher at the school. She testified, and she was speaking about. Here goes Susan. If I ain't got me wrong, no, that was a bit too far. That's MJ there. Susan right here. Okay. Susan mentioned something about this sheet right here. She felt an incident happened in her class with JT. And she filled an incident report out on JT behavior. But they already know his behavior, y'all. Okay, y'all, this is something I'm not trying to say this is not what the teacher did. With those SST and them and those IEPs, you got to read them. Whatever on that description about that kid, you have on their behavior or on their phone right there, the strategy. You got to go by those strategies that's on there that goes with their behavior. If you don't do that and you forget about that student like the other student, that child has a behavior problem. So that child acts just like they said it's on the paper. But listening to this teacher right here, and the other teachers, he seems like he's not taking his medicine allegedly. I don't believe he taking his medicine. A lot of moms I notice in middle school don't want their kids on those meds, but they need it, y'all, in school. They just can't take a kid off of medicine. But it seemed like he's not taking his medicine to me because they see the changes in his behavior. You see what I mean? He been having changes in his behavior. If you're supposed to know all your kids in your class, all of them got different behavior. If JT ain't been acting like that, something ain't right with JT. JT went in his mama purse and got that handgun out of there. He ain't never did that. So what make him do that? So it's his behavior changing. They may need to change his medicine. To be honest, they might have to change his medication. Now that's Miss Susan right there. She did a referral form on him, and she went to visit. And they send when she went to visit the principal, they send him back to her class. They do that, y'all. They send them same student back to you. They ain't gonna call. Don't nobody else want. They sent JT back to that teacher, same teacher class, y'all, to this lady right here in class. No telling what other students she got to deal with in her class. Um, y'all, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And then you have Mr. Rowe. Mr. Rowe. Here go Mr. Rowe. Now, Mr. Rowe played the role as the head counselor at the school. Usually, head counselors are like assistant principals, but they are not labeled as assistant principals. But they really can run a school too. So as a counselor at the school, Mr. Rolonzo, but I'm gonna say Mr. Rowe. I thought he was a teacher. He was a school counselor, and he testified about JT and the gun and everything and search and all that. And he said that he got permission from the principal what to do. And that's when the prosecutor asked him, if you could do something different, if you could do something different, what would you do now? Would you do it different? He said, yeah. He'll do something different than what he did before. And y'all, and I'm gonna tell you something. You got to protect yourself on your job, especially when it comes down to these kids. We're talking about a first grader, 6 years old, with paperwork on him. He can't help himself. That's why I say it got to be the medicine that he taking, because he acting out. It's out of control now. Maybe they need to take him out the regular classes. He's not. If you got a student like that in the regular classes, it's affecting the other kids in the class. What I'm saying is, with his behavior, is his medication. What is it that making him act up? Because it don't seem like he always like that, y'all. It don't seem if you could take JT out of this class and put him over in Coach Gill class, and he behaved in Coach Gill class, that means somebody got a lack of training and they not following the information that what's on that strategy. You got to read that paperwork. You have to read it. Y'all, we have to read it. We have to sign for it and everything. And it'd be a pack of them. It's be a pack of them. But you want them kids to learn. But it seemed like, I believe he allegedly could be his medication. Because he got some sense. He got some sense. He went in his mama purse. So that was the school counselor. He said he wished he would have done something different. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I know he wish he had done different. Not even touch that boy because he not supposed to search him. The principal's supposed to search him. But then you got that crisis team too. That if he was on part of that crisis team, he's still not supposed to touch him. He really, he really don't, y'all. Just because they got that little team that act like a system principal, hey, you can't do what them principals do. You can't do what a system principal can do. It's rough right there and going on. Some going on in that school. It's a lot going on. And Miss, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I feel sorry for the principal. I feel sorry for the teachers, the students, and the principal. They got to do something to make their school better than what it is, y'all. And choices and this in situations, strategies, uh, protocol, misunderstanding. There's so much going on. There's so much going on. Discipline. You got that discipline handbook that a lot of people don't read. Johnny JT just in the first. JT beating up everybody. JT is beating up everybody. He is disturbing your kid in that class for doing his work. She got as a teacher, even though JT in her class, and he got that IEP and that SST. Shh, you got to read that information and do what you got to do. It's a lot come with educating. Y'all think they made a lot of money. You see what the teachers go through? Do you see what the teachers go through? Them not they kids. They not with them kids that every day. Them y'all kids. Your kids. And then we go overboard for kids. We ain't worrying about that little money they give them. Look at that money, just a little money. You just get by. You ain't making you overworking yourself because you going to the stream for them kids. I want to see look JT. I want to see JT. I want to see. I want to see. I want to see JT. I want to see JT, y'all, because JT don't whoop it. JT running the school. Just imagine, just imagine when JT get home with his mama. Well, just imagine if he doing that to the teacher. What do you do to the mama while she sleep? Oh Lord, help me, Jesus. Oh Lord, that doing JT. Now, what is they doing, y'all? What they need to do different in this court setting right here? They already don't took a long lunch. They don't took a long lunch, but they supposed to be back at 2 o'clock. They didn't come back to 2:30. Now everybody want to go take a long break. They say they weren't gonna be gone long, right? It's time to go home. It's 4. It's time to go home now at 4 o'clock. What in the world are these people doing? The prosecutor talking all slow and can't hear the other man. And now the lady one said the microphone microphone work every day. Every day she said the microphone working. She make that microphone work every day. It take mic up until this time. So I think they can ready to go home, y'all. I guess they can ready to go home. So y'all tell me what y'all think later on in the chat, cause y'all been doing real good by communicating about these trials. This is this is real talk, y'all. This is real talk. This is real. This is real. This is real, y'all. I can't do it no more. Uh-uh. This is real talk. And I ain't making no excuse. I ain't making no excuse for none of it. Nobody. And y'all got to understand another thing too. That in that system, this hold on, y'all. The system that they working for, these women got to work, y'all. They don't want to lose their job. You don't want to lose your job, do you? Shoot. Don't be ready to take your job from you, honey. And then look, y'all, at the end of the year, I'm going to tell y'all something. This happened back in 2023, though. I keep telling y'all, I keep trying to explain to you all that I don't care how old a case is, it ain't an old case. It's remember you're stuck in the house but almost a year in 2020. Them folks were on their way to court, then they had to set back a lot of cases. 23 ain't long. 2000 ain't long. Because we still in the 2000. It's not long, it's long to you. I hope JT getting some help because he just in the first grade. He just in the first grade, y'all. Look at them. Yeah. Let's see what they. See, the microphone always come up at 4 o'clock. Oh, the counselor back up here again. She ready to go home now. Look at her. She don't put on some more makeup. Let me stop.
Redirect. Yes, incorrect. Mr. Rawls, thank you. I believe you indicated to the defense counsel that you didn't remember what you had told or whether you told Dr. Parker about the incident at the time you asked for permission to search the backpack. Is it true that you don't remember that? Sure. Understandable. Did you give a statement to police in this case? And if I were able to provide you with a transcript, that might refresh your memory about what you said to Dr. Parker. Okay, may I approach that? I'm sorry. Read it silently, and then I'll ask you a question about it. Sorry. does that refresh your memory about what you said to Dr. Parker regarding the incident? Okay, would you just tell us then?
Looking at a page, so his memory is fresh. I'll take it back. Okay. May I approach? I want this done properly. Yes, may I approach?
Having refreshed your recollection, do you remember what you said to Dr. Parker prior to asking to search the backpack? Do you remember if you confirmed with Dr. Parker that you and she knew what you were talking about? Or who?
And Mr. Rawls, and from what you just recounted, nothing was in the backpack, correct? It had been searched, it was there, correct? Okay. And at that point, you did not believe it was incredibly present, correct? No. Which one was it?
I'd ask that he be released. So we're going to ask that he be constructed. I would reach that. We'll ask that he be constructed with some lesser remain available for you. Absolutely, I do. I'd be happy to facilitate that happening. Megan De Leon.
They had the whole staff in there, don't they?
Good afternoon. Would you please tell us your name? Ms. De Leon, do you have a daughter? I want to just caution you, and I know we've discussed this, but during the course course of this trial were names, only using initials or referring to your daughter if you prefer. Back in January of 2023, was your daughter attending school? Where? Is that here in Newport News? And what are your daughter's initials? On January 6th of 2023, did you become aware of an incident that caused you to go to the school early? And when you got to the school, did you immediately see SD, your daughter? Do you eventually see her that day? Okay. When you first see her, describe, without telling me anything she said, just describe her demeanor, how she appeared to you and how she interacted.
Initially, she just seemed happy to see me for that. But later on, she kind of showed different behavior.
By different behaviors, do you mean different than prior to the events of January 3rd? Describe what behaviors you observed.
Society, it was a very hectic day, so just working and just trying to put some show on it. The door opened just with pizza and she just got very scared. Jumped from her seat, sounded the doorbell, and other sounds like that pretty much to come, just scared.
What kinds of sounds would scare her?
Slamming of the door, I know, loud names. She described the sound as the ladder falling when the gun went off. The loud sounds that started.
If the request is to strike sounds like a ladder when the gun went off, I agree to that.
Okay. Next question.
So, what other behavioral changes, if any, related to SD did you notice in the immediate days and weeks?
Not understanding why this happened. She loved her teacher. Her teacher was kind. She just understand why we were hurt.
And who was her teacher, if you know?
So,
So, Miss Werner, was Miss Werner's classroom her homeroom? As a result of what you observed with SD, did you seek help for her of some kind?
yes, went to just regular counseling through our insurance and also spiritual counseling through my church.
And how long did that go on for? These are the injuries that the neglect caused, the trauma to the children. I believe that that is relevant.
So I'll have, but if you have additional questions, ma'am, just follow the additional questions and as well questions.
Only to elicit an additional different things that she noticed in her daughter. That's it.
I'll allow
Okay. We're from January 3rd to present. Any additional things you've noticed in your daughter that were not present prior to the January 3rd?
she's very, she doesn't want to talk about it. She keeps everything close hold. She holds in a lot of feelings and emotions. Recently, when she went back to counseling, this is the time they said to start doing it, to give her some time and re-engage with counselor. And they said that she has depression, anxiety, and
questions for you, but thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Leon. You were never inside of Ridge Neck Elementary School on January 6, 2023, correct? Okay. So, and you did not encounter your daughter in the building, correct? Okay. Um, you filed a civil lawsuit arising from the events of January 6, 2023, correct? In this courthouse, correct? Okay. There's a pending lawsuit in Newport News Circuit Court, correct? Okay. And you've named Dr. Parker as a defendant in that case? Well, in that civil lawsuit, you have named Dr. Parker as a defendant, correct? Okay. And you are seeking money damages from the defendants in that case, correct? And you are seeking money damages from the defendants in that case, correct? Yes, but the laws, I know there are settlement discussions, I'm sure that there are. But in terms of what you're asking for in that lawsuit is money, correct? Okay. And you believe that a criminal conviction of Dr. Parker would help in that case, correct? Okay. After January 6th, you requested that your daughter be transferred to a different school, correct? And that request was refused by Newport News Public Schools, correct? Okay. No further questions.
Last that she be released. And we're also calling Nicholas De Leon. Nicholas De Leon.
Mother and father of the child.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. And sir, would you please tell us your name? Mr. De Leon, just a reminder that we're not using the names of any children at all, including your own. But do you have a daughter? And what are her initials? And where did SD attend school? Okay. And are, as of January 3rd, 2023, were you, yeah, I'm sorry, let me ask the question like this. Who is SD's mom? Thank you. Between the time of January 6, 2023, before and after, were there any changes that you noticed in your daughter SD after that hadn't been there before? Could you just describe what you personally noticed or observed, but not what anything that she said to you? I noticed that she was easier to breath. How long did that persist? Did you and her mom seek any sort of treatment for her? Has it helped? And just to confirm, whose class was SD in? And was that at Richmond Elementary? Thank you. I don't have any other questions for you. Please answer any further questions.
Good afternoon, Mr. De Leon. All right. You mentioned your daughter SD. You don't have any knowledge of whether SD was in the classroom when Ms. Werner was shot. Okay. But you don't have any idea whether she was actually in the classroom, correct? And what are you basing your understanding? Is that from what somebody told you? Okay. So you can't verify that. I'm asking you to tell me what you were told. That's hearsay. Okay. Now, you are aware that your wife, or I don't know the status of your relationship, but Megan De Leon has filed a lawsuit on behalf of your daughter in this courtroom. Correct? Okay. And that you're aware that Dr. Parker is a named defendant in that lawsuit, correct? Okay. And you're aware that money damages from Dr. Parker are being sought in that lawsuit, correct? Okay. And so you have a financial interest in a criminal conviction of Dr. Parker, correct? Oh, so you believe your daughter has financial interest in the conviction of Dr. Parker? Just answer my question. Answer my question. Do you believe that your daughter has a financial interest in the criminal conviction of Dr. Parker? Do you believe that a criminal conviction of Dr. Parker would help in that civil lawsuit? No, it has not been asked and answered, Your Honor. I asked for just a different question. No further question.
Commonwealth will call Tanisha Richardson.
Everybody trying to get paid, y'all. But they got to remember that happened in the classroom. They scared them kids, traumatized those kids. They trying to get them some money, and they're going to get some too. What y'all thinking right now?
Good afternoon. Please tell us your name. Ms. Richardson, do you have a child? And in January of 2023, child's initials. All right, and just as a reminder, we're only using initials, not names today. Where was your KS? All right. And did there come a time earlier than normal on January 6, 2023, when you had to go to the school? Let me, you're okay. Just let me ask you questions and I'll walk you through it, okay? Did you go to the school? Could you describe, without telling us anything that he said, could you describe his demeanor, how he appeared to you? Did you notice any changes in his behavior after January 6th of 2023 as opposed to before? I want you to just describe what you were able to notice as his parent that changed after January 6th, 2023.
Yeah. What's going on here?
When you say school avoidance, can you kind of describe to me what that means? How long was he afraid to go to school? Did you seek any type of treatment for KS? What did you seek? And how long did that go on? And is it still going? Do you think that it has helped KS? Thank you. I don't have anything further for you.
Good afternoon, Ms. Richardson. You currently have a civil lawsuit pending in this courthouse, correct? Regarding the incidents of January 6, 2023. Okay. And you've also, in that lawsuit, you've named Dr. Parker as a defendant, correct? Thank you. In the lawsuit that you currently have filed for the circuit court, you have named Dr. Anthony Parker as a defendant, correct? And in that lawsuit, you are suing Dr. Parker and the other defendants for money, correct? And you and so lawsuit is scheduled to trial? When was that lawsuit filed? February 2023? No further questions.
Just a couple more questions for you. As a result of the incident on January 6, 2023, and all of the things that your son has done, have you spent money? Right on point with the cross-examination. You asked if she was seeking money in a lawsuit, and I think it's very fair for me to ask if she also spent money as a result of the incident. Did you spend money as a result of what happened to your son? Thank you. I don't have to. Thank you. And I would like to just a quick reminder that during this trial, we're not speaking names of any children at all, and only using initials. Do you have a child? What are your child's initials? And did your child attend school? Did Gigi attend school in January of 2023? What grade was he in? And where did
Every reason
What is that man hair like that, y'all? Oh Lord, let me hush. Lord, I tell you what, y'all got to grow up sometime.
6, 2023, when you had to unexpectedly go to, when you arrived at the school, did you immediately see Gigi? Help you through it, okay? So eventually, did you see Gigi at school? And when you saw him, did you please just describe, without saying anything that he said, describe his demeanor, how he was acting, and how he appeared to you?
He walked out of the school with a look on his face like it's very much. I was crying myself. He wasn't crying, but he was in shock. I could breathe. Utter shock.
And from that moment forward, did you notice any changes in behavior from Gigi as opposed to before January 6th?
Yes, had called me. He was a little bit snappier with his brother. Whenever they were arguing, he would be a little bit more present. Other things like he had to sleep with them every night because he just felt more comfortable. Anyway, almost every night.
has he, at any time between then and now, has he sought any treatment beyond that? Okay. And how long did any as a result of this? As far as for Gigi, as a result of this, do you have some expenses? No, with the therapy that was provided, so we didn't have to. Okay, thank you. I don't have anything else for you.
You weren't at Christian Elementary School on January 6, 2023, correct? But you were not inside of the building, correct? Did the school contact you at the time of the shooting? No, I had a friend of mine, a coworker, contact me. But did the school ever contact you? Afterwards. How long after? I would say an hour and a half. Okay. Your child was not in the classroom where the shooting occurred, correct? Okay. And you're saying he was a student in that classroom? He was a student in that classroom. Okay. And you filed a civil lawsuit in this case, stemming from the events of January 6, 2023.
Sorry, can you answer the question, please?
Yes. Okay. And you have named Dr. Parker as a defendant, correct? All right. You're seeking money damages from Dr. Parker in that case, correct? Okay. And a criminal conviction of Dr. Parker would be helpful to that lawsuit, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Okay. No further questions.
And if I'm going to call Sarah Gonzalez. This is the last witness. I understand. I will take a moment to double check this. That we're good afternoon. Would you please tell us your name?
Sarah Gonzalez.
Ms. Gonzalez, do you have a child? Remember that we're only using initials or referring to your child as my child. What are the initials of your child? And who is Gigi's father? Okay. I want to take you to January 6th of
Sit down,
2023. On that afternoon, where were you when you first see Gigi?
Sit down.
January 6, 2023. Okay. When you first see him at your home, is it still on January 6th? And do you know roughly what time it would be? Okay. Could you just describe for me, without telling me anything you said, but could you describe his demeanor, how he appeared, and how he was acting toward you? Were ongoing after that day, were there any issues with Gigi that you noticed that were different than prior to the January 6th? Describe those to us. And for how long did those things last? Were there any other major life adjustments that your family had to make as a result of what Gigi went through? I agree, Judge. We will look at it. I don't have any more questions. Thank you so much. Please answer any questions from the defense counsel.
Good afternoon, Ms. Gonzalez. You have filed a civil lawsuit in this courthouse as well, regarding the events of January 6, 2023, correct?
We're here staying
You have
here,
filed a
chair.
civil lawsuit related to the events of January 6, 2023 in this circuit court, correct? And you have named Dr. Parker as a defendant in that matter, correct? And you're seeking money damages from Dr. Parker and the other defendants, correct? Okay. In fact, you and several other parents are represented by the same attorney, right?
Objection, Judge. That is not clear.
I think it's relevant. We have a series of witnesses, all filed civil lawsuits, and represented by the same attorney. I think it's totally relevant to these position.
And I object to the counsel saying they're all represented by the same attorney. He's not testifying.
Well, and a criminal conviction of Dr. Parker would help in that lawsuit, right? What was your answer, I'm sorry? Okay. So you have a financial interest in these proceedings, right? I'm sorry?
Okay, y'all. Let's talk about this. Let's talk. This is the last section to talk for the day. I want to tell y'all thank you so much for being here with me and watching the trial. This is a case that happened in 2023, and at the last portion of this trial, you had parents who plan on making their choices to sue Miss Parker, and I think they would have came out with more money if they had to sue the school instead of Miss Parker. What y'all think? Uh, that I believe that those kids are traumatized. I know it's 20, they happened in 23, 24, 25. They don't hurt. They probably don't calm down a little bit since they young. But I don't know. I don't know, y'all. So this is terrible. This situation right here. This is awful, and I would depend. I'll shoot. I would them. They didn't. It's nothing wrong with shooting for a lawsuit, But like I said, I would have sued the school system instead of Miss. The system has more money than Miss Parker. I wouldn't sue Miss Parker, but I would sue the school system. Uh, so I'm not going to say that the parents didn't make good choices. Uh, trying to sue the school. This is a lesson for that for Miss Parker. This is a this is a lesson for her. She will make better choices and be more do her duty, being responsibly. And it seemed like everybody come to the stand. I'm trying to see I'm trying to see what kind of school it is, y'all. Y'all, it seemed like they got. I don't know. I ain't gonna say that because I don't even know what JT is. I don't know what's going on here because I'm looking at the teachers that sometimes y'all you have to change. Like our major, my major is from K to 12. I can teach anything from any health and physical education from K to K through 12. Some of them teachers may not need to be in elementary school. They may need to be in middle school. They may need to be in high school. Maybe elementary is too much for them. Cause it seems like it's okay. And another thing, I'm not gonna hold y'all no more because we've been here all day. Another thing, y'all, that's a choice that you have to make. Do you want to stay at that school or do you want to do better at another school? Do you want to do better yourself and better yourself that seem like the school ain't organized. It ain't organized, y'all. It's not. It's not. All this shouldn't have fell on a uh system principal when don't nobody like her. You when you find a principal, when you find a system principal, when people want to sue her, they want to sue the Miss Parker, not the school system, but Miss Parker. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that the whole class then wasn't traumatized. What wasn't in that courtroom trying to get some money from the system, but they trying to get it from Miss Parker. Do y'all think they'll have a chance of getting the money from Miss Parker? I don't know. They should get some. I think they should get something, but shoot, Miss Parker ain't making no money. She ain't nothing but a sister. Ain't no money in education like y'all think it is, y'all. It's no money in education. So stop thinking, don't judge these teachers by their money, because they ain't making no money, y'all. They ain't making no money. Don't look at them as making them millions of dollars. They don't. They don't. They don't. Not for what they got to go through. They underpaid, not overpaid. But so hate this happen, y'all. Hate this happen. This is a learning experience for any parent, any teachers, anybody, you have to make good choices, y'all. Choices and decisions. Choices and decisions. You got to. Is it if it were for me, sitting in the office, with these two students right here, you know, just get up and go see. Hey, the boy, he got a gun. JT got a gun. You know how JT is, so you know he probably do have one. You don't send another teacher to go do your job. So everybody want the money. Everybody want that position. They want that position. But if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna title to that position, you need to do what you're supposed to do. I don't want to see the system principal go to jail. I don't want her to see her lose her license. I don't. I really don't. I think it was lack of training or lack of responsibility. I think she needs to be punished in the system without pay. But I don't think either a way, you know, let her work in the office, not, you know, in the HR area. Don't fire her. Don't fire her. Luckily, didn't nobody die, but punish her. I don't want her to do no time in jail or nothing like that. Then nobody died. Then no kid get shot. But a teacher got shot in the hand and stuff. That's terrible too. But I'm saying, thank God they didn't happen to no kid. Now, I don't think I don't want her to go to jail. I don't want her to go to jail. I just think she need to be punished from the school system where she got to take training. Train the coach. She need to go through training. Because see, a principal like that who done been through something like that will be one of the best principals. Be the one of the best system principals because she's still young. What y'all think? Like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all. To see y'all in the morning at 9 o'clock. Come on now, 9 o'clock. Wake up. I'm gonna make sure I have my coffee this day. All right, y'all. I'm out here. Now I'm about to go eat me some ice cream.